Good morning. My name is Rebecca, and today our temple friend, Michael Macklin Hyom Sanyim, will share his Dharma Talk, Il-Wansang and Human Beings. Let's start our practice today by reading together the essential dharmas of daily practice on page 11. The essential dharmas of daily practice. The mind is originally free from disturbance, but disturbances arise in response to sensory conditions. Let us restore the equanimity of our true nature by letting go of disturbances. The mind is originally free from delusion, but delusions arise in response to sensory conditions. Let us restore the wisdom of our true nature by letting go of delusions. The mind is originally free from wrongdoing, but wrongdoings arise in response to sensory conditions. Let us restore the precepts of our true nature by letting go of wrongdoings. Let us replace disbelief, greed, laziness, and ignorance with belief, zeal, questioning, and dedication. Let us turn resentment into gratitude. Let us turn dependency into self-reliance. Let us turn reluctance to learn into willingness to learn well. Let us turn reluctance to teach into willingness to teach well. Let us turn lack of public spirit into eagerness to serve the good of all. Many of us have just returned from a week-long retreat in upstate New York at the Won Dharma Center. At the retreat, we are asked to give a 1-minute talk. Because it's only 1 minute, many of them are about tiny moments. I will give my talk now, and there may be some others doing theirs a little bit later in the service. My talk is titled, "What Do I Owe This Blueberry?" And it describes one of my tiny moments. Everywhere a Buddha image, every act a Buddha offering. There are many ways at the retreat that we are guided in our practice. Some are explicitly given, others are more subtle. When we sit down to eat, we are reminded to pause and appreciate the food on our plates and all those who have had a part in putting it there. I am enjoying lots of blueberries here. I do not eat them at home, because when you get them at the store, they are often fuzzy. So as I bring a blueberry to my mouth, I ask, what do I owe this blueberry? How about gratitude? I offer gratitude to the bush that grew it, the soil that nurtured the bush, the people whose hands picked and shipped and bought it, and finally prepared it for this meal. Appreciation. I can appreciate its navy blue color, its ripeness, and its one-of-a-kind flavor. I can also offer my respect. It is a blueberry, and it has done its blueberry best to grow and progress in its blueberry life until this moment when it transitions to being a part of me. I bow to the blueberry. As I make decisions about what and when to eat, as I am faced with challenging relationships, as I become more adept at countering negative or unwholesome thinking, I am now asking, what do I owe myself? And the answer is the same. I owe myself gratitude. Gratitude for this body exactly as it is, this mind, this human life. I owe myself appreciation. I am one of a kind, and I owe myself respect. I am doing my best to grow and practice on this path to truth. I bow to my original true nature, and I bow to the Buddha and the blueberry in all of you. Now let's stand and stretch and get ready for sitting meditation. Not going to hit your neighbor. We'll start with little ankle turning in circles, ankles one side and the other direction. Other side. Excellent suggestion, bend our toes both ways. It helps with sitting for periods of time. Waist. Oh no, I forgot knees. Knees. Other direction. Okay, now waist in a circle, keeping our torso relatively steady. Other direction. All right, let's move to shoulders. Moving our elbows in a circle. Maybe larger circles as you go farther. And other direction. Okay, give our heads a little bit of a stretch down. And go in a circle if you like. Get to both sides. Okay. Hands up, breathe in. Breathe out. We're going to find our center of balance. Arms all the way up. Stretch and down. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. One more. Now if we feel fairly balanced, here's our center. We can rock a little bit just to kind of find that center of balance as if you're on a boat. And we'll do a little Qi balancing. 1, 2. 1, 2. As you do this, you can feel, perhaps, a little of the energy that you're creating. Okay, now we're going to add a little balance, lifting the other leg, placing it down. 1, 2. Other side, shifting the weight, placing it. 1, 2. Let's do it again. Good. All right, we'll do one more. Calling heaven and earth. Actually, I don't know. We learned it at retreat. Palm up, touching heaven. Palm flat, touching earth. Feeling the energy. And we switch hands by going down the middle. Let's do that 2 more times. Good. Breathe in, breathe out, in, out. Now we will do 4 bows to Dharmakaya Buddha.
With gratitude, I bow to the grace of heaven and earth, honoring the infinite source of marvelous existence. With gratitude, I bow to the grace of parents, ancestors, and everyone who has given me life and nurtured me. With gratitude, I bow to the grace of fellow beings, embracing the truth of interconnectedness. With gratitude, I bow to the grace of laws, which guides us to develop justice and freedom through Dharma and universal principles. Anyone can practice it. Please take time to find your most comfortable position on a mat or a chair. Wiggle and stretch to release any tension in your body. And then gently rock back and forth until you feel balanced and settled. Breathe in, and as you breathe out, release any tension or uneasiness. Relax and gently bring your focus to your lower abdomen and allow yourself to settle into belly breathing. As you breathe in, your lower belly gently expands. When you release your breath, it gently shrinks down. Our lower belly is the home of our whole body. It is the storehouse of our grounding Qi energy. We call it the Danjan, our vital Qi energy field. Take a moment to breathe deeply from your Danjan. Settle your mind and focus there. As you breathe and listen to your body, gradually strengthen your lower back and open your chest and heart. You may notice your spine adjusting and straightening. As you feel strengthened and settled, align your ears with your shoulders. Let your shoulders simply melt away from your ears. Tuck your chin in slightly. Let your eyelids relax and drift downward to their most comfortable position. And enjoy the sensation of your arms and hands relaxing. Now bring your awareness to your tongue. Place the tip of your tongue on the roof of your mouth, right behind your front teeth. While your tongue is relaxed on your palate, pure and clear saliva may gather in the mouth. This is a delightful sign of cool energy ascending. Smile at your calm and clear spirit. If your face or body begin to itch, simply observe the itching and let it pass. If your legs ache unbearably, you may change your position very slowly and quietly so that you maintain a calm stillness and honor the silent practice of those around you. When thoughts arise in your mind, do not play with them. As you exhale, let them float away like clouds, or invite them to settle down and meditate with you. Continue to bring your awareness back to your Danjan abiding breath. When your mind is calm, concentrated, perfectly focused and at peace, you will rest in the realm of samadhi, deep meditation. You will be free from the distinction between yourself and others, and the limits of time and space. We are grateful to sit quietly together, finding the still point within us. May we be here now, deeply aware of our ever calm, ever alert spirit.
내 손이 나는 곳, 내 발길 머무는 곳, 내 음성 내리치는 곳, 내 마음 향하는 곳마다 우리 모두 함께, 우리 모두 함께 성을 제주 인연이 되어지리라. I wish and pray, sincerely and truly, where my hands touch the world, where my feet walk on the earth, where my voice echoes through the hills, and in all realms where my heart and mind reach, that we all together, share a true affinity for attaining great enlightenment and for helping all living beings.
Chanting Ilwansang Vow, page 9, in English. Ilwansang
This morning, our Dharma friend Michael Macklin, Jung Sanim, will share his Dharma talk, Ilwan Song and Human Beings. Let us practice deep listening as we welcome Michael.
I'm going to start by reading the passage that is the basis of this talk. It's in the doctrine section of the scripture of the founding master. And it's number 3. Kyangjan asked, what is the relationship between Ilwan Song, one circle image, and human beings? The founding master answered, you have asked about a great truth. In our order, we enshrined Ilwan Song in the same way that Buddhists in the past have enshrined Buddha images. However, while a Buddha image manifests the physical form of the Buddha, Ilwan Song manifests the mind essence of the Buddha. The physical form represents only his human form, but the mind essence is vast and infinite, combining being and non-being, and sustaining itself through the 3 time periods of past, present, and future. Hence, it is the original source of the myriad things in heaven and earth, and the realm of samadhi beyond all words and speech. Confucianism calls it the grand ultimate, Taeguk, or the ultimate of non-being, Muguk. Taoism calls it nature or the way, Tao. Buddhism calls it pure Dharmakaya Buddha. In principle, however, all of these are different expressions for the same thing regardless of which direction or which road one takes at the ultimate stage. They all eventually lead back to the truth of Ilwan. If anything that calls itself a religion does not found itself upon such a truth, then it is a deviant way. Therefore, our order designated the truth of Ilwan Song as the paradigm for relating that ultimate truth to our daily lives, and elucidated also the 2 gateways of faith and practice. When Won Gong asked me to speak today with something from this doctrine chapter, I tried to think about what's been on my mind, and this kind of seemed to fit, but I couldn't pull it together about what's been on my mind, but it's kind of in here, and so I thought I would reflect, and hopefully it's of some use, on what Master Sotaesan is doing in this whole chapter, but in this particular one too, because at least I find it kind of interesting what he did. So when I gave the title of this talk to the reverends, they changed it back to the one here. I wanted to say, what's the but I'm happy they did, and I'll tell you why. It's a minor change, but I wanted to say, what is the relationship between Ilwan and human beings? Instead of Ilwan Song. Because I think, and as even Master Sotaesan says later in this chapter, Ilwan Song is a symbol. It's not the real thing. And so, then I started thinking, yeah, Ilwan Song, it's like the finger pointing at the moon. But what is Ilwan Song pointing at? We can look at the moon. It's a little harder to see Ilwan. So Ilwan Song has a little more to it than I wasn't giving it enough credit in a way, in terms of how powerful it is, and how, in some sense, it does relate in some very real way to human beings, because it's a manifestation of Ilwan itself. We are a manifestation of Ilwan. Everything is a manifestation of Ilwan, but Ilwan is not visible. It's not something we can see or look at or, worship or think about very directly. Ilwan Song gives us something to think about. So I thought, okay, now, and you have asked about a great truth, Master Sotaesan says. But then he goes into, well, we did the Ilwan Song rather than the Buddha image. I thought, wow, okay, that must be really important, because he mentions this a lot in this chapter. And at first I thought, well, in Asia, the Buddha image is very familiar, and so people aren't confused about that, about when he says it takes the place of a Buddha image. They kind of know what it means. But I thought about, the Buddha did not want to have Buddha images. When the Buddha died and as he was dying, his followers said, "What are we going to do without you?" He said, "Follow my teachings." He didn't say, "Follow my image." He didn't say, "Try and be me." He said, "Follow my teachings." And, in the beginning, they not only followed his teachings, that's all they did is they memorized his teachings. I don't know if they followed him or not, but they memorized them a lot. That's what Buddhism became for a while, memorizing the Buddha's teachings. Okay. So I'm thinking, now Master Sotaesan knew all of this after he became enlightened. And I thought, he's trying to think about not only now, but posterity. He's trying to think about, he wants something that isn't about, he doesn't want people to follow him, even though he wants people to do what he did. He doesn't want them to be worshiping him or following his image, his body, and he wants them to follow his teachings, but he doesn't want them to go memorizing his teachings either, though he wants us to use them. So he came up with a symbol that he thought would speak to everyone, but in a way that also would be hard to understand, that would make us keep questioning and wondering and trying to think our way through. He also came up with a path that when I came into this practice, I'd been doing what I do, studying Buddhism ideas for 2 years. And for me, that's studying. That's like, getting into everything that I could have in 2 years. And when I first came to, Won Buddhism, I thought, wow, this stuff isn't very deep. This is pretty straightforward and simple and everyday sort of stuff. And over time, I've realized everything I thought that wasn't very deep is in here very deep. But he did it, he introduces it to us in the best possible way, I think. There may be people who are very deep and know about things I never knew about before, and, really could, go right into the depths of things and really find their original true nature in a day or so, which I've been focusing so much on lately because I can't find it. But I realized, he figured out a way to both put all the depth and profundity of all the Buddhist teachings, and the elaborations of it in his teachings, but he did it in a way that pointed at the path, pointed us towards a life that was not only meaningful for ourselves and would move us towards finding our original true nature and enlightenment, but also help us to change the world over time and to bring about a different world. And so he does go deeper in the middle of this. He talks about Taoism and the grand ultimate in Confucianism and the Dharmakaya Buddha and the truth of Il-Won-Song. So he starts out with the Il-Won-Song image, but then the truth of Il-Won. But then he finishes up, and I thought it was kind of interesting, with, as if it's an afterthought, relating Il-Won-Song as a paradigm for the ultimate truth in our daily lives. And at the very last sentence, and elucidated also the 2 gateways of faith and practice, like an afterthought or something. But it's not an afterthought at all. It's kind of like all this spiritual power and growth that we want to develop in Buddhism and Won Buddhism, is available. But how do we make it available to everyone and ourselves? Well, the gateways of faith and practice. It's spelled out very clearly, but as you practice it over time, you realize these practices are a lot more than just thinking, a lot more than just gratitude and the threefold practice, which is a lot, not a little, but like a way to practice. Sorry, a way to practice, a way to be in the world, a way, it's got a lot of depth, but he gives it to us in a way that we can understand it over time, that we can grow and become deeper over time. And so, yeah, I didn't have a great message for today that I could put through to you, but I did think all this was sort of interesting. I hope you do too. Thank you for listening.
Wow. I don't know if I can summarize all of that, but I'll tell you, I've been recovering this passage on Thursday Night Dharma, and I remember our discussions were talking about that, where he says, don't worship the Dharma, the Buddha statue, don't worship an image. So that was kind of one of the message I took away from that is, and another message was that it's within you. You have Buddha nature. You have the nature of Il Won Sung in you. And your practice is your life, your daily life. That, like you're saying, follow the way, follow my teachings. Don't just take food and flowers to a Buddha statue. That's not going to get you anywhere. You really need to walk the path and do the practice through faith and gratitude and the threefold practice and stuff. And I think that's where I'm going to stop. So now is time for friends at home. If you would like to, in the next few minutes, you're welcome to continue enjoying your contemplation or share your takeaways from Michael's Dharma Talk in the live chat. And then friends here in the Dharma Hall, we invite you to pair up in groups of 2 or 3 and share your thoughts and takeaways with each other.
what we are discussing is profound topics, so I hope you will continue your Dharma conversation. I would like to invite all those who just came from upstate New York after a week-long retreat. Would you mind standing up, please, for a moment? You have survived. Give them big applause. And I'd like to invite a couple of you on the spot. If you can imagine a moment, a mental picture or scene or moment that is still resonating in your heart from the week-long retreat, what would that be? Would you like to hear? Oh, John is here.
Hello. Apparently you can recognise this as we're all glowing. Anyway, so people have said. So actually the thing that has stuck with me most, and I think being most profound for me, was a comment you made to me, Won Buddhist, in our interview. We were talking about noble silence, so we're meant to be in noble silence throughout the whole of the retreat. And we were doing pretty well until about the 5th or 6th day. And we'd been outside helping plant garlic. And on the walk back, pretend like we're not talking, pretend like we're not talking. We're all talking, but we know we're being observed. And I mentioned this in my chat with Won Gong. And she just said, "Oh, no, look, they're talking." And it was so disappointing. And the way that you said it, it carried so much weight. And it made me feel very sad, because it was like you're seeing these people walking ahead of you and you think, oh, they don't get it yet, they don't get it. And it made me realize just how much love you put into everything that you do for everyone here. That's all I want to say.
Anyone else would like to share? By the way, thank you, John, for your really beautiful practice. But also he delivered holy garlic from One Dharma Center. We are going to put that out on our gift shop. We all did a wonderful garlic. We became a garlic planting bodhisattvas. And then we brought really special organic garlic. I hope you will use some in your kitchen. We have a special recipe.
Yes, as soon as the noble silence finished, Won Buddhist started selling the garlic.
Oh, Kathleen is here. You have something to share?
I do. So during our retreat, our focus was on noble silence, and it was also on the threefold practice, the cultivation of equanimity, wisdom, and mindful choice. And each of us was given an opportunity to give a 1-minute talk, 1 minute plus talk. So this is my 1 minute plus talk on a reflection of that. The words in the threefold practice that popped out for me were, as solid as iron or stone. This phrase appears twice. The first time is in the section about cultivating an enlightened mind. If we practice cultivating the spirit for a long period of time, our spirit will become as solid as iron or stone. It next appears in answer to a question about choice and action. Why is it that we human beings do not practice what is wholesome and beneficial, even though we know how to create these results? And why is it that we don't forsake what causes harm, even though we know what will lead to harm? The answer includes this explanation. We do not forsake what causes harm because we cannot control our desires. We are enticed by destructive habits. that are as solid as iron and stone. So now, in my mind's eye, I watch as my enlightened mind and my self-defeating habits stand side by side, each with its own powerful and robust nature. Their breathtaking juxtaposition is one I will be deeply reflecting on.
Thank you, Kathleen. Anyone else would like to share? Well, there are a lot to contemplate and process after a week-long retreat. As Kathleen shared, we focused on cultivating and meditating on the threefold practice. There is a chapter, there is a whole chapter about the threefold study, why I call it threefold practice. And that chapter is available for you to contemplate. And then you're welcome to share your thoughts and questions as well, because that's the essential practice tool for us. This retreat was very special to me because I experienced the deep silent moments so many times. And those reverends at One Dharma Center said, because majority participants are from North Carolina Temple community, the energy was so settling and profound. So again, here you go. The better you practice, the deeper you practice, I get all the credit. Would you like to pose together, that connecting with the retreat, but also retreat is right here, the spirit of being in retreat at this present moment. So whatever going on in your mind, let it go. Let them fly away and just rest here now for 3 minutes. We call power meditation. So let us be free from our planning minds, worrying minds, reflecting on our mistake, whatever the unskillfulness from the past. Let them go. Let's just be here together beyond time and space for 3 minutes. you all for your practice. In April, this coming spring, a new year, we'll have another week-long retreat at Southern Dharma. I hope you will create time and your availability to join us the week-long retreat. It'll be only 6 nights, 7 days retreat. This one 7 nights, 8 days, one day less. And now I'd like to introduce Reverend Sung Jae. Anyone watched the Jamboree video who watched the Jamboree video? So Reverend Jay, he is in the video. He really greatly assisted me during that hot, humid summer in Korea for leading meditation program for the youth scout group. Please welcome Reverend Jay.
Hello. Hello. Nice to meet you. My name is Seung Jae Ju, and you can call me Jay. Yeah. I am a graduate school student from South Korea and majoring in Won Buddhism. I have been looking forward to meeting you for a long time because I have so many questions that I would like to ask you. And I'm very interested in hearing your thoughts. For example, what is the most attractive point of Won Buddhism for you? And also, could you offer some suggestions as to the best ways to introduce Won Buddhism to Western people like that? Yeah. And I guess that I will satisfy my curiosity while I'm here in a calm and orderly way. I plan to stay here for 3 months until January 8th. I have dedicated myself to being here as a citizen of the world, not just as a Korean visitor, because we are one and we are whole. Thank you so much for listening. Have a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Jay, and it's going to be wonderful to have you with us for 3 months, not just a week. Thank you all for practicing with us today. My name is Nate Won Jae Sun, and I was one of the retreatants from North Carolina at the Won Dharma Center. The buildings there are simple and elegant and natural, beautiful natural wood. And the setting is 500 acres of rolling hills and fields and woods and streams. And it is this, the name of the retreat was In Nature, Your True Nature. It was this wonderful invitation to see what was natural in myself as we were immersed in nature and watching the leaves fall so gracefully. It was a silent retreat, but was not hardcore silence. In that we weren't talking to each other, but there were moments for sharing and contemplating Dharma. And even though it was a silent retreat, there was a wonderful sense of community that developed by the end of the week, a sense of really got to know each other in a profound way and felt very supported. Typically on these retreats, I create some pretty intense internal drama for myself. I didn't do that this time, which was a relief, but part of me sort of missed the excitement. So I get to contemplate that. All right, a few announcements. This afternoon at 3 p.m., our teens are gathering for monthly teen meditation. This evening at 5 p.m., our sister temple in Raleigh, we do not have a brother temple, but sister is good, He is hosting a peaceful evening meditation. And save the date for our annual Fall Festival and Open House, which will be on Sunday, October 29th from 1 to 5 p.m. There will be a nifty gift shop, Korean food court, mini classes including meditation intro, Qi Gong, Dharma Hall experience, arts and crafts activities for children, and at 3 p.m., there's going to be a piñata. Come by and enjoy the festivity at the Chapel Hill Temple and our beautiful meditation garden. If you are new and you would like to join our community listserv, there are sign-up cards in the foyer for your room, or you can send us an email. Also in the foyer, there's this perfectly round glass table, which is a donation table. And it reminds me of a smooth round rock in a stream, because when people leave here, they can flow around the donation table to the right, or they can flow around it to the left. But what if you took the middle way and you bumped into it? And standing there, you said, "Who am I? And why am I standing here?" Now let us bless each other with our morning prayer song on page 13.
Dhammakaya Buddha, fourfold grace, I begin a new day in your presence. Today full of health and with peace of mind, may I walk along the path of the Buddha. Dhammakaya Buddha, fourfold grace, I begin a new day with your grace. Today, gratefully and with gentle words, may I live in harmony with all those I meet. Dhammakaya Buddha, fourfold grace, I begin a new day with compassion. Today, making the world a whole loving place, may I do all that I can for one.
Let's bow to our friends right next to us. And bow to our friends through that cute camera lens, waving hands. Good eye.